Okay, let's dive right in. Deep inside your chest, there's a fork in the road. It's a tiny anatomical detail, but it's so important that it can literally be the difference between a normal breath and a medical emergency. We're talking about the right main bronchus. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on why this invisible superhighway is one of the most crucial pieces of our internal design.
So here's a classic medical head scratcher. You've probably heard it before. If a kid accidentally swallows a peanut, or really if any foreign object gets down the windpipe, why does it pretty much always end up in the right lung and not the left? I mean, it seems like it should be a 50-50 shot, right? Well, it's not even close. And there's a really fascinating anatomical reason behind it all. And we're about to solve this puzzle together.
All right, so to really get to the bottom of this mystery, we have to look at the basic layout of your chest. It all really comes down to a battle for real estate, where some of our most vital organs are kind of pushing and shoving each other for space. Let's break down the three key players that cause this incredible imbalance.
First up, the big guy in the room, the heart. You know, we tend to think of it as being right in the center of our chest, but it's actually not. It's nudged over a little bit to the left. And that leftward lean is everything. It physically shoves the left airway, the left bronchus, out of a straight path, forcing it to take a detour. Meanwhile, the right side, it's got a nice clear path straight down.
But it's not just the heart causing trouble on the left. The aorta, that's the biggest artery in your entire body. It gets in on the action too. The massive arch of the aorta curves up and over, also to the left, before it heads down the body. So now you've got this second huge obstacle forcing that left bronchus to take an even sharper turn to get around it.
And finally, let's talk about the destination itself, the lungs. Here's a fun fact. Your right lung is actually bigger than your left. It has 3 lobes, while the left lung only has 2, because it has to make room for the heart. So think about it. A bigger lung needs a bigger, more direct supply line for air. It's just simple logistics. This whole setup just naturally favors a straight, vertical shot for air to get to the right lung. So we've got the heart and the aorta pushing everything aside on the left, and we have the bigger right lung demanding a more direct route. Now let's see exactly how those pressures actually shape the airways themselves, creating what is truly a superhighway on the right side. This table just lays it all out perfectly. Look at these numbers. The right bronchus is shorter, it's wider, but the most important number here, the real kicker, is the angle. The left bronchus has to take this sharp 45-degree turn to get where it's going. The right one, it's way more vertical. I mean, every single thing on this chart points to the right side being the path of least resistance.
Let's just zero in on that angle for a second. About 25 degrees from vertical. That is an incredibly direct path. It's almost a straight shot down from your main windpipe, the trachea. This single number is the key. It's the geometric reason why the right bronchus acts like a direct funnel.
And there it is. That's the aha moment. You can think of your windpipe as a highway. When you get to the splate, which is called the carina, the right bronchus is like a straight, wide-open, 5-lane expressway. And the left bronchus, well, that's more like a winding country road with a sharp turn. So if you're a piece of food or anything else that doesn't belong there, which path are you going to take by default? You're taking the expressway every single time. Now, this isn't just some cool piece of anatomical trivia. This tiny little asymmetry has huge, real-world consequences in the clinic. So let's shift gears and talk about what happens when this superhighway accidentally directs things to the wrong place.
There are really 3 major clinical situations where this anatomy becomes absolutely critical. First, what we've been talking about, foreign body aspiration, the classic swallowed peanut. Second, something called aspiration pneumonia, which happens when stuff like stomach contents accidentally gets into the lungs. And third, a really high-stakes medical procedure, when a breathing tube gets misplaced.
Okay, let's go back to our opening question. Because of that vertical superhighway, we know that peanut is going to the right. But what's even crazier is that the patient's position can actually change where in the right lung it ends up. If you're sitting up or standing, gravity just takes it down to the right lower lobe. But if you're lying down flat on your back, it's actually more likely to end up in the upper lobe. And for a doctor trying to find it and get it out, that detail is vital. And this is where this little bit of anatomy becomes a huge patient safety issue. When a patient needs help breathing, a tube is put into their trachea. But if it's pushed just a little bit too far, it will follow that path of least resistance right down into the right bronchus. And the result? Only the right lung is getting air. The left lung gets nothing, and it collapses.
This is why you'll always see doctors listening very carefully for breath sounds on both sides of the chest to make sure this hasn't happened. So after looking at the anatomy, the plumbing, and the pretty serious life or death consequences, it all really comes back to one simple, kind of elegant explanation. Let's wrap this all up into a single, powerful takeaway.
And there you have it. That's what it all boils down to. The heart and the aorta are basically anatomical bullies, just shoving the left airway aside. This leaves the right bronchus as this wide-open vertical superhighway, which is perfect for getting air where it needs to go, but also for anything else that accidentally makes its way down there.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Our bodies are just filled with these incredible, seemingly minor design quirks that have these profound effects on our health and our survival. This one-sided superhighway is just one example. So it kind of leaves us with a final question. What other invisible asymmetries are hiding in plain sight, quietly shaping our lives every single day?